Today's workout is really the first for the channel, which is our first ruck. Of course, the name of the channel, Run-Ruck-Ride, and this is our first ruck. So I'm already about a mile in. Goal really simple for today, just 35 pounds on my back in a rucksack and just walk. I'll probably do at least an hour, not worried about pace, not worried about anything, just worried about just keeping going, keeping active and keeping moving. So a little bit today, great weather. It's probably like 72 degrees, way overcast. It's been raining on and off. So perfect weather for a nice slow ruck. Again, I mentioned 35 pounds, kind of my standard weight. That's where I start off as, and try to stay pretty consistent with that. I'm in a GoRuck backpack or rucksack. I'll explain that a little bit more. I've got some pretty, probably not controversial, but mixed feelings about the GoRuck rucksack. Of course, I have a lot of experience. Again, I mentioned before, long career in the military, a lot of rucking throughout those years. And this is vastly different than that. But of course, it's for a different purpose. So I'll stop along the way. I'm right now on an old cart path, but I'll break out into a trail in a little bit and then record some more video, come back to you. We'll talk about this pack and whether I think you should buy one or not. I've got, again, some pretty mixed and strong emotions about that. So let's get started. For this portion of it, but if you're not familiar with rucking, it is essentially walking with weight. And of course, it's a very traditional means of transportation, how to get across the battlefield for the military since forever, really. You needed to carry supplies, wasn't always the ability to move it around the battlefield, whether it was pack mules or horses or camels or trucks or wagons or anything else. So especially for, the grunt, the infantrymen, pretty much you had what you were carrying because your supplies were likely far in the back somewhere. So rucking, you had to train for it. There is a little bit, if you're carrying heavier weights, this is 35. This is kind of the standard for qualifications, for testing throughout the year. This is what you carried. A lot of the military schools, this is kind of the standard for any timed events, distance and time. So for me, it's a comfortable weight. For me, time is not really an issue or a factor. I don't worry about that too much. But what that extra weight does, so if I'm walking, just a kind of a leisurely walk, I'll probably be at 50% of my max heart rate or less. If it's hot or if I'm picking up the pace, it might go a little bit higher. But throw some weight on, it will elevate your heart rate. Again, nothing crazy. You're still walking. You're still clearly in the aerobic zone. So, maybe you're in zone 1, touching on zone 2 with some weight. You're probably solidly in a zone 2 where you can you're getting some significant benefit from that. Some other side effects of it, positive, is for your core strength and your posture. It does, force you to maintain some level of posture because you've got that weight, got to maintain your balance. You don't want to be slumped over. That comes later after a bunch of miles. You just eventually get wore down. So do I recommend it? Absolutely. I recommend any amount of activity, anything that gets a person moving. I'll mix it into my routine. I would say, one every 4 or 5 outings is a ruck. It also allows me to go walking with my wife, who's an unbelievable walker. I can barely keep up with her, but I feel I don't get the same benefit. I should probably learn to just tone it down a little bit and relax and enjoy it. But with this, I can throw that on and get that added benefit. Feel like I'm getting a little bit better training effect out of that, leisurely, should be relaxing walk. But it does help me. It mixes it up too. I like to run, but I've also 59 years old, so I have to take that into account. Ability is probably more important than sheer physical activity. I find myself spending more time trying to warm up and stay mobile rather than working out, which is probably smart for me at this point. So again, rucking, the way to start, I talked a little bit about this pack and I'll show it here shortly, but you can start with your kid's school backpack or an old backpack. Throw some books in there, some water bottles. I've bought rock salt. Take some 100-mile-an-hour tape or duct tape, tape it up to reinforce it, throw it in there. Those are always good because you can adjust the weights, make little 5-pound individual packages and use that. Or you can go up. You can use surplus backpacks, which work very well. They have a tendency to squeak and there's a lot of straps everywhere. But again, it's just your kid's last year's backpack, your kid's soccer equipment backpack. Just use that, throw whatever you need to throw in there, and it works fine. And that's the idea, is that it's relatively simple, low or no cost for the equipment, and you get that added training benefit to it. So I'll close out here. It doesn't need to be a long video. It's basically me just walking with the backpack on. So bottom line, do I recommend rucking? Absolutely. I do not recommend going, this is probably $200, not counting the weights. They're very popular, so they've been able to keep their price at a premium, and it's worth it. Don't get me wrong. There's just a few niggles about it that I think could be better, and the price is a little exorbitant for what it is. But if you really want to get into it, there's a big, huge community associated with it as well. So it would be an investment if you wanted to stick with it and it fit you well. But other than that, quality and construction, absolutely no problems. So rucking, recommend it. Mix it into your routine. You can do it any time of the year. It gets cold, just put some more clothes on, put your head down and keep walking, and that's about it. That's all you got to do. So I'll check back with you on the next video. Look forward to it. I shot a ride video the other day, or tried to, and not pleased with it. I'll have to reshoot that. I got to figure out something. I was just basically bombing through some trails and didn't really think through it so much. So I'll put that together, probably throw in another run here. Interesting, filming this on the 30th of September. We're on the eve of a potential government shutdown. So we'll see how that affects me and my co-workers tonight at midnight. And I'll give you an update on that on the next video. Thanks.